Okay, now we're ready.
Well, everybody, welcome to episode... I don't know what camera to look at. Episode 84 of That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. Hey, we're together in person recording an episode.
Look at us.
Oh, we should do this just to be cheesy. Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so if you may not be able to see it, Chris has a beer just resting on his laptop off camera, and I just noticed it, and it's giving me horrible anxiety. So
You can see it in this camera, I think.
this camera,
Yeah.
all right, we got multi-camera. We're such a losers. We're sitting.
I can't just do a thing.
No.
I have to make it a real thing.
Well, at this point, 9:45 on a Tuesday night. We are sitting in my garage with a multi-camera setup and a ring light, and I have windows. I hope people are walking by going, well, actually, in this neighborhood, they're like, I'm not surprised.
Right.
Anyway, Chris, great to have you out. It is nice from a social perspective to have you here. Thank you for coming. Unfortunately, where we planned on doing this fell through, but such is life this late in the golf season and on a Tuesday night. What do you expect?
Right.
Boy, do we have a show for the fans today, though. Boy, do we have one. We're going to talk gear talk about the Project X EvenFlow Riptide MX shaft.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Lot of words.
I actually know a little bit about that one from the unboxing that you did.
Right, there you go.
Card right here.
It's up there. All right. Hanging in the basement, the garage rafters.
That's right.
Check that unboxing out. But we're going to talk about that. And then, I don't know, just we're here hanging out. We're going to talk and just catch up on life. I think that's what we do.
I've been gone a while.
You've been gone a while.
A lot has happened since the last time I was in the state.
Has it really?
Fair.
I don't know. All right. So anyway, that's that. Let's just get into gear talk. All right. So we'll see how this goes, doing gear talk this way. I'm going to talk to you about this guy. We already used a card, so I can't refer to another one. The Project X EvenFlow Riptide MX. We already talked about the LX.
Do you want me to hold it for you?
Oh, that'd be great.
I can model it.
Look at this.
Yeah, look at this right here.
We
go
heard
to camera 3, please.
Camera 3. We already talked about the LX, which was the low launch, low spin, high for all those big, heavy, high-speed swingers. It's supposed to be, that one too was supposed to be geared toward a moderate swing tempo. This guy is your mid-launch, in theory, mid-spin. I'm going to call it more of a mid to low spin shaft.
Okay.
My numbers were around 2,300 RPMs, that's pretty, I'm like a 2,200 at a low spin for me, so I think it's mid-low. I'm okay with that. But there's an interesting stat with this guy. It is I'm going to read this note because I want to get it right. It is the lowest torque Project X graphite shaft in the 60-gram weight class. So hazardous, EvenFlow, you name it. This is the lowest torque 60-gram shaft they have.
Interesting.
Like many brands right now in the industry, and like the LX before, the goal here was to create a super low torque, very stable shaft that doesn't feel boardy, doesn't feel ultra stiff. It doesn't, basically feel like a telephone pole or a tree trunk when you're trying to swing it. That is a common issue with these low torque golf shafts. So they give this thing, I think they call it a constant taper throughout its build, but then they get into like the lower 20 inches or so of the shaft, and they use what they call a 40-ton fiber to reinforce it, and that's where that stability and that lower torque comes from.
Oh.
So it feels very smooth. It has EvenFlow is known for a smoother, gradual bend profile. This shaft has that, but it does have more stability, and it does feel a little firm in the lower section of the shaft, but you can still feel the mid kick point. It doesn't feel overwhelming by any means. And it has tons of response and feedback. You shouldn't. I said in the review that you can read on driverangeheroes.com. I said in the review, a shaft this player friendly, easy to swing with this kind of feel shouldn't feel as good as this thing does. It should be a little muted. It should feel a little too hard on your hands, but it doesn't. It's just very smooth, very clean, very responsive, and very pleasant. That is a great way to explain it. It's very pleasant to swing.
Okay.
Mid-launch, sure, but not like it's not going to get too high. So if you expect a mid-launch shaft to go 13 degrees or so, that's what you usually swing them. It will go 13 degrees or so. The difference is you're going to have better control. You'll be able to, I think you should be able to manipulate your shots a little better. Perfect. Because you have that better feel and better control of the shaft. And one thing we always explain when we talk about torque in golf shafts in our reviews, it's going to keep its shape. So think about this for a second. It's going to spend all of its energy, instead of spending the energy retaining its shape as it's bending throughout the swing, it's going to take that energy and put it back into the golf ball.
Right.
Which means you will hit it longer, higher if you wanted to, whatever you want to do. More energy is going in the golf ball. You're going to hit it longer. In theory, you're going to hit a better shot. That's a good thing. One last point. I think we need to, what am I missing here? I don't think I'm missing much. It's mid-launch.
I don't know, I'm looking through the notes here.
Yeah.
I think you've checked all the boxes.
I think we got it. I just want to stress it's super smooth feeling and shouldn't feel this good. But this is becoming a common theme with a lot of these brands now that the composites are advancing, right? The materials and the technology have grown. They have different tools and modeling systems to look at these and evaluate how they construct them. So everyone seems to be chasing that super low torque, but with incredible precise feel. I think they did it. I think this is more impressive than the LX. The LX still feels like a low launch, low spin golf shaft. This guy, like the formula doesn't make any sense, and it's so easy to hit. It's so nice on your hands. It sort of puts your brain in a pretzel if you're a gear nerd like me that cares too much.
Right.
But it's really impressive. I really like it. One thing I will say, I said the LX was geared toward a moderate tempo swing. So is this guy. But the LX, I felt like you could be more aggressive and get away with it. With this one, I don't know as much. I felt like if I got aggressive with it, I lost control of it pretty quick. So I had to take a more smooth approach to my golf swing, slow my tempo down a bit. And that's when I would benefit from the performance elements and advantages it has to provide. So I do think this one is geared more toward the moderate tempo. It works really well for me in a 3-wood. And you'll say, Bill, this doesn't have a grip on it or a club head on it. I know. Because this thing is borderline world class for a 3-wood, I think. So I have a 3-wood project. I'm going to try it in. And that's what it's staged and ready for. But I think that smooth tempo, moderate tempo will be a great formula for a fairway wood and make it easier to launch it. We'll see.
Now, is there, for those that didn't see, we did cover the LX in another episode. We'll put a card back up in the rafters over here.
Yeah.
Is there a swing speed that goes with an LX or an MX?
I would say no.
Okay. Just primarily tempo, just kind of.
I would say tempo and like your style of swing. So if you're someone who really hits down on the ball, therefore you get a higher angle of attack, that's low is going to help you. At the same time, I mean, if you're like super shallow, maybe this guy's a little nicer for you. If you hit up on the ball a lot, probably don't want this guy. But I wouldn't say it's a speed thing. Tempo's a big one, and really what kind of swing you have. And that's a good point, Chris. As always, don't blind fit. Go test it out. Go get a nice fitting at, I don't know, Club Champion.
Right.
Or something like that.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the program, Club Champion. And really get a feel for, which one's right for you. Let's also acknowledge we'll probably use supplementary pictures in this.
I was going to ask at the end of the review if there were going to be supplementary
We have supplementary pictures.
Yeah.
You can't really tell here, but if you can see it, Chris, it's sort of like maybe an ocean with a blood red sky.
Yeah, it's a nice design. I kind of like it.
And you have the bubbles in the Riptide here, like sea foam.
Yeah.
So I have it. If you want to read the review, there's an old seafaring adage of what is it? Red skies at night, sailors delight.
Okay.
Red skies in the morning, sailors take warning. And that means there's something to do. There's a whole thing to do with weather, how weather works. Where it's at night, it means you're going to have good weather because of the pressure and dust particles. But in the morning, if you have that, it means you're going to have storms.
Okay.
We break it down in the very educational
I also
review.
have a boat story post Gear Talk.
Well, with that teaser, I think we're ready to wrap up Gear Talk. But I put that in the review, so it's worth checking out.
All right. Link in the description.
Link in the description. That is the Project X EvenFlow Riptide MX. It's a pretty nice golf shaft. I can't wait to see how it performs in what will be my Gamer 3 wood.
Oh, so you're putting it in play, I'm
gonna try.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Okay.
see how it goes. But you know how it goes.
I know. You're a constant tinkerer.
I'm gonna probably go through 6 different 3-wood setups in the winter before I even see a golf course again.
Right.
All right, that's Gear Talk. All right, so I want to catch up here, but what's your boat story?
Yeah, so it turns out, as you know, I was in Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah.
Right. And bananas on a boat is bad luck.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I didn't get the backstory on it. Nobody really knew where the origin story of the bananas on a boat being bad luck. But so we went on a boat 3 times on our trip. 3? Yeah, I think 3 times. And each time we were asked, does anyone have bananas on them? Leave them on the dock. Eat them or leave them on the dock.
I mean, it was asked. It wasn't
It
even
was
like,
no. It was
oh,
like
hey,
they are
you
bad
can't bring
luck.
bananas.
No.
Wow.
It was they are bad luck, and so
Watch this.
do not bring them on
Hey,
a boat.
if you know what the background is on that, leave a comment below.
Oh yeah, by all means.
I'm
I'm genuinely curious about it, but nobody knew. Like I don't know. It's just a thing. Like
post health crisis for me, the banana has become a crucial part of my life, and not out of like, oh, you need that potassium, bro. More like, well, I got to eat better, and I guess I need a good. But bananas are a delightful snack.
see, I can't eat a banana like raw. I have to have it in bread, as you
Right,
know,
yeah.
or in a smoothie.
Interesting.
But you put bananas in anything else, and I'm like, no, they're mushy and gross, man. I can't.
I love banana. I don't like gross, mushy bananas. I'm with
Yeah.
you. Do you like banana pudding?
I've never had banana pudding.
I like banana pudding a lot. Trying to think what about the Tiger Woods sandwich, the peanut butter and banana?
No, no,
Okay.
pass.
I can
Pass.
see that one.
It's a texture thing, I think, for the most part, really, when it comes down to it.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I love a good banana. Then so sure enough, I'll go grocery shopping and I'll be like, oh, let's make sure we get bananas. It'll be like Thursday. And for some reason I like give up with 2 or 3 left. And my wife's like, good thing we got all those bananas that you were gonna eat.
Well, see, so we do the same thing, but there's only one banana eater in the house.
yeah.
But we get, a bunch of bananas, but you can freeze them. And then later you thaw them out, make bread, or I cut them up frozen and I put them in the blender for a smoothie.
I never got any of that banana bread.
I brought some. Do you remember that time I brought you some and you're like,
Why I
you did the whole
I don't think I did
Drake thing.
No,
Like
no. I don't think I did that. I think it was based on how I approached you at the tee box after a 3-hour drive. You're like, I'm not even going to suggest it, which was the right move. That's a friend move. Yeah, for sure. Well, whatever. We got the winter coming up. We'll need something to do.
Yeah, she'll start making them fast and furiously here soon because winter is coming. As they say.
You can smell it in the air. Like today, as the storm came through, and the pressure was changing. Like you just smell it and feel it.
Yeah.
Well, welcome home. It's good to have
Thanks,
you
man.
back. It's good to be with you.
It's
literally.
true. Yeah, it's good to be back.
You were also with, check this segue out. You were also with our friend Adam Unfiltered upon your return,
It's true.
playing the golfs.
True.
I bury the lead a little bit, but where'd you guys play? How'd it go?
It went.
You notice I don't even ask.
I don't know.
I knew we'd have to talk about stuff, so while I saw pictures and various things, I'm like, well, and to be fair, you were in full-blown Chris McEwen mood, and I'm like, I'm done with him. Like, I'm literally just making conversation, and you have to be an asshole about it. I'm like, never mind, I'll talk. And you know that character of yours.
I don't know what you're talking
and
about.
It's like, I appreciate our friendship well enough that it's like, all right, I know what's going on. And I say it as much in the text. I go, I'll just be quiet for the rest of the night. It's like when you were like, I don't need you to agree with me. I'm like, I didn't say you needed me to. Never mind. I'm done.
When you were being a weirdo today, when I said stop being a weirdo, is that what you're talking about? Or is that the other day?
The other day when I said,
okay.
I see which version of Chris McEwen we have today. I'm just going to be quiet. And you're like, God, he's not wrong. It's not wrong. No, today I was like, when we were talking about doing this and our original plan fell through, at no point in our conversation was I like, Chris, come to my house. Because in my mind, I'm like, well, that's just a given. Obviously, that would work.
Right.
But at the same time, there's a certain bit of etiquette where it wouldn't be inappropriate for you to be like, well, he didn't suggest it.
I thought we were beyond etiquette. I mean, I went right into your fridge for a beer.
As you should.
Right.
Well, right. So all I was doing was clarifying, being polite. That's all. I wasn't being a weirdo.
Anyways.
You're a weirdo. So you guys play golf.
Yeah.
But I did not ask about golf because I'm like, save it
for the show.
Our friendship is so ridiculous now. Yeah, save it for the show.
We play Coyote Run, which is one of our favorites down in Flossmoor. We play it on a Sunday at like 2:30 in the afternoon. It was $45 with a cart. Yeah, it's it's always in great shape. It's a really, really fun course. We were a bit of a disaster from beginning to end, quite honestly.
Well, and on top of that, I'm going back to I see which version of Chris McEwen. I think you had getting back from Hawaii funk going probably, and Adam probably had his funk go. You two together in the wrong state is a bad formula.
Well, so here's how this went. You were part of the text chain for a little while, and then I left to talk to Adam directly because I knew you weren't going to play. So he and I go back and forth. We're negotiating on a tea time. He had an 11 a.m. brunch,
but rewind about how he was juggling 2 tea times and ready to play golf with everybody, and then ended up with no tea time.
That's right. That's right. He's supposed to play Monday with everybody. Ended up with 0 tea times on Monday, and then he defaulted to me, which is fine. I appreciate that. But yeah, so he had his 11 a.m. brunch, and he's drinking mimosas like he's a 20-something co-ed graduate, and we didn't go to play golf. So we were going back and forth. We had a 145 or a 240, I think it was. Ended up doing 240. So he asked me what time I'm going to be there. I'm like, I think I'll be like there about a half hour early. They have a nice range. I actually have a token from the range still in my car. And so I'm like, great, I got a token. I'll hit some balls before we go. Well, I couldn't get out of my parking garage. I couldn't get out of the parking garage. I have a little thing, like a little like the iPass thing, but for garages.
Right.
You drive up to the gate and it automatically opens and you leave. Well, that wasn't happening.
Wait a minute. You're back in the parking garage. Viewers of the program may recall at one point you lost your parking garage space and then your car got towed.
That's correct. And then I started renting a spot.
Got it.
A block away. So this is the rental spot.
Got it.
And so the gate wouldn't open. There's 2 lanes. Tried the other lane, gate wouldn't open. There's a button you push to get some help. Push the button. No one's answering.
Right.
Of course. And so I was in the garage in the lane long enough to send an email to the garage company from my car. That's how long I was stuck in the garage. Finally, someone answers the phone. I get out of the garage. Now I'm going to be at the golf course 8 minutes before tea time.
So
whatever. Right. Yeah. So I'm
still early as far as I'm concerned.
I'm on my way to the golf course and I get a text pop up on my phone that says, it's from Adam Unfiltered, and it says, I forgot my golf shoes.
Wait, before you continue any further, because I so many questions. Based on angling here and our history of in-person recording problems. I have a look at your computer. You have a look at mine.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're keeping an eye on what's going on here.
Yeah. You're good.
You too.
Yeah.
You're good. All right. So Adam doesn't. Of course, Adam forgot. God, we as a group, we are all
we're a disaster.
Such disasters. And so I played golf with John Heisey of DrivingRangeHeroes.com. Oh my God! By the way, off camera, shout out my guy John Heisey hooking me up with a great round of golf in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Whew.
Good on him.
We'll talk about this.
All right, cool.
Off camera.
Yeah.
But he said something that we were talking about, Tommy's out in Arizona now, and I don't remember exactly how he said it. I'm like, God, maybe that's it. We're all like misfit toys because we're all, as a group, I think we're all like fine day to day, but as a group, we are functionally a disaster. Right. Adam, you, Josh, me, Tommy, John, all of us.
The whole gang. Yeah, the whole gang.
I love everybody.
We're all in that. So yeah, so Adam sends me a text. I forgot. I don't have any golf shoes. He's got like socks with like sliders. Right? Now
he's looking to go on a cruise, right?
Yeah, right. He goes from, a mid-20s co-ed college girl having brunch to the 70-year-old guy with socks and sandals at the golf course, right?
Right.
Now, because I live the way I live, I'm wearing these on the way to the golf course. You can see those.
Careful with that angle there.
And so these are the ones I'm going to play in.
Yeah.
But I have 2 other pairs of golf shoes in my car at all times.
Right.
Because, you never know when a friend's going to be like, hey, I forgot golf shoes.
You Instagram storied it, but if you look to your left here, you will see.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a wall of.
It's true.
And it's only it's only a portion. And I noticed same thing this weekend. The amount of you never know when I'm going to need these, and I got my flip flops, so I'm just leave these golf shoes in my car, and I have in case of a break glass, in case of emergency, I have 6 pairs of golf shoes in my car.
Right. So I give Adam a pair of my golf shoes. He wears roughly the same size. We get out onto the golf course. Oh no! As we're on the first tee, since I got there, got him shoes. We got loaded up. We had I check and pay. We head straight to the first tee. I reach into my golf bag and I have exactly 3 golf balls in my bag, which is not enough golf balls.
No,
for me,
not for you.
And so I was like, well, I'm going to trade you my shoes for maybe a golf ball or 2. I only needed 4. And to be fair, 2 of the lost golf balls weren't lost. We just didn't, we saw them off the tee. It was straight. You know what I mean? But how you just they just kind of disappear.
As when we play, I call it the Lee Trevino rule.
Yeah, right. It's just, they just went away. It wasn't like I was, shanking shots over the place.
Lee Trevino was in our group and people were watching, they'd be like, oh yeah, it's right there in that open space. So it's not a lost ball. It doesn't count.
Right. Yeah. So we started off with me getting to the tee roughly 1 minute before our tee time, Adam with no shoes and me with 3 golf balls. And we're not done yet with this story, because then on some par 3.
Which golf shoes of yours was he wearing?
He was wearing my FootJoys.
Okay.
Yeah, the orange and gray ones. So we're on a par 3 and I'm setting up to chip. I chip onto the green and Adam says to me, I just rolled my ankle again, because he's done it before playing golf with me. There's no hills. He got out of the cart. It's just, I don't know.
He just rolled his ankle on the ground.
Yeah, just earth magnet got him. I don't know, but yeah, he rolled his ankle again. And then at that point, so he was still fine. It wasn't the last time I saw it. It was he folded his ankle. God. It was bad, but this time I didn't see it, but he was fine. He kept playing golf. And then around, I think the 13th or 14th hole, I get a text from my wife that says, the dog is not in great shape. She's heading to a dinner. And so I'm like, well, Adam, you want to play one more hole? Then I got to get out of here. And so that adventure ended after playing, I think 14.
So you guys even
14 holes.
Finish your.
No, we didn't. And we would, to be fair, we probably wouldn't have anyways.
Okay.
Because we were stuck behind 3 really, there's only 2 of us. We were stuck behind three really slow
Remind
foursomes.
me to go back to my pace of play story, but go ahead.
But and it turned out because we jumped ahead of everybody to jump to the 18th, and we found the one. I mean, it's always it's one foursome that's just holding everybody up. We found that foursome. We're like, oh, there it is, because there was 3 golf holes wide open in front of them. But it was, at that point it was like 6:30 and no one's around.
Dude, I think we were that foursome this week when John and I played on Monday. Teed off at 8 a.m. at St. Andrews, the St. Andrews course in West Chicago.
Oh, good old St. Andrews.
Yeah, and we were really excited. The weather was great, everything you want, and get paired with 2 guys, big, like, I swear to God, they had to be flight cases. They were such huge cart bags. One guy's got PXG irons, the other guy's got like they got the stuff.
Yeah.
There's a piece of equipment that I caught later in the round. I'm just gonna reserve commentary on. I was like, oh, okay. But like they had enough of bags where, I mean, obviously anybody can buy whatever they want, but I'm like,
sure,
they know how to deal with a golf course.
Right.
John and I had a Chris McEwen round. I shot 38 on the front.
Okay.
And I was feeling it. I was like, but not like crazy. Feel kind of like when we played Beverly, how it's like,
yeah,
I didn't think I was going to light anything up, but like I'm going to hit every green in 2 and have a look,
Right.
And it's like, all right, I'm a couple over. And this was without a warm up, maybe a little hungover. And loaded up on barbecue the night before. That was when we were testing up the for the barbecue contest.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh God. So I was in like, all right, well, I'm in pretty good golf shape. And then just fell apart on the back. But
I love that that's a Chris McEwen round. That's my favorite part of that whole story.
Chris shoots par on the front, 106 on the back for 140 total. So we make the turn. St. Andrews historically has had the best breakfast sandwiches, and you can get them at the halfway house. Halfway house, because of COVID and everything right now, you can't go in. They're doing a window thing, and they have like the counter warmer thing to keep the sandwiches warm,
Got it.
And it has pictures of breakfast sandwiches on it. There's a bunch of foil wrapped things in there. We're like, yes. So John gets up to the window and he's like, do you have any breakfast sandwiches, burritos? And she's like, we only have hot dogs and bratwurst. God bless it. So we get brats or whatever. I don't even remember. John did. I don't even remember if I did. And it just like, we were so disgusted. Go to the first tee. And like, where are the guys? And as we're like looking at how we did on the front, I'm looking at my Sky Caddy SX 550 to be discussed on a later show.
Yeah.
We played the front 9 in 2.5 hours. And what killed me was like at the first tee, we waited for the group in front of us and we teed off just like you would. And we were right behind them on number 2 and they just like disappeared. And I'm like, God, these guys are flying. Like, no, they weren't. We just were super slow. And I'm like, it's not me. I'm
right.
Like,
you shot a 38. It wasn't you.
It's not me. And John wasn't playing well, but it wasn't John. Like, we're waiting on the tee box for these guys. That probably happened like 6 times throughout the round.
Really?
The round just took forever. And we had holes open in front of us. You could, because you could see and tell.
Yeah.
The thing was, we were never getting pushed because I'm like looking behind us and it's just people hitting it like 10 feet off the tees. There's one we saw.
So you weren't getting pushed either.
Right. This lady is literally like, there's the tee markers. She's teeing up 10 feet in front of the tees. You're like, and not like, oh, play it forward kind of thing. It's just like, just pick a spot. That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
A lot of like cut off shirts and basketball shorts out there. I don't know. That's a Labor Day thing, but
maybe.
I'm like, oh my God, it's even worse. But I think we finished our round and had to be 5,
really?
If not 5 and change. And I know where you stand on pace of play. So like, there's a certain, John and I talked about this because I mean, my game just fell apart too. And I said, we discussed your stance on pace of play.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't disagree with it. Like, it's fun to like be with a buddy and swing a golf club, but I definitely have a threshold where it's like just doing golf. I am not any good anymore once like the 4-hour mark hits. Sort
Fair.
of like the
That's
pump,
fair.
Cinderella and the pumpkin and the carrot,
Yeah.
It's just like once the 4-hour mark hits, it severely diminishing returns. I mean, I'm not saying I don't enjoy it. Like I don't enjoy swinging, but like I'm not good anymore. So that's, I think I'm wondering now, like pace of play from a social aspect, don't care. But from I'm trying to play good golf.
Scoring aspect, yeah.
And it's like, oh, getting in a groove. Like, it's not even about the groove. It's just like, I have 4 hours worth of golf swings. If that's 100 swings, if that's 70 swings.
Right.
I have 4 hours of golf swings.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if we would have finished our round.
It doesn't sound like
it was before it got dark anyways, I should say.
One of you would have died.
Well, Adam's head would have exploded, I'm sure. Because he is Mr. Pace of Play.
Yeah.
Although to his credit, he was maybe because I was with him, he was very patient because I've talked about this too before. Like when you're waiting on a tee, it sucks. Yeah. It always sucks. If you're not though, if you play your 5 hours or whatever, but you're always hitting, you don't really realize it. But we were waiting on every tee.
I don't mind if I'm waiting because there's a lot of groups and it just is, and the course is hard, whatever. It's that. And you and I have experienced it when you're standing on a tee box going, what are they doing?
Right. Right.
Like it's, if I'm just waiting, hey, we got to wait and we're just going to chit chat while we wait. Like, cool. But when it's like, why did you park your cart? Yeah,
there was some of that too.
At the 150 marker to go putt.
Right.
Or why did you push your push cart into the sand trap? It's, when you're waiting on stuff like that, that's like, I don't know if this is even a pace of play thing. I just don't want to be part of this world.
And it was hard to kind of to know if it was a pace because there's only 2 of us.
Right.
And Adam and I play quick. And so we didn't we got through the front 9, I think, in 2 hours or 2.5 hours maybe, which is usually the pace for the front 9. And then the back it's a 4.5 hour round, but the back 9's always quicker.
Okay.
So I don't know. But it seemed like once we caught up to that group, we're like, okay, this is going to be a thing.
Do we know? I have 2 final questions.
Okay.
Do we know how Adam's ankle is doing now?
I think he's fine.
Because it was iced and elevated.
It was iced and elevated. I think he's okay now.
Okay.
I think he's okay. I don't know if he'll ever play golf with me again.
I mean, that's probably from more than just the ankle, let's be honest. And then question number 2, what's up with, just because I feel like he's out to ruin your life, what's up with the dog?
He's fine. He was fine when I got home. He was a little anxious with my wife leaving. He
just knew.
I think it's he is very, very old and he,
you guys just left me for a week and you're leaving again.
Right.
Like, yes.
Right.
You're a dog.
Right. Right. But, we find him, when I got home, he was fine. He was laying in bed, but sometimes we come home and he's just like staring at a wall because I think he's got some onset dementia going. So
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, but he's fine. He's all right.
You're only getting started too. I think of like how my dog would just sit. You'd be sitting next to her and she'd just bark at you just to be like, you hear me barking? Okay.
Yeah, no, but he's been really, since we've gotten back, he's been pretty good.
Good.
So thank you for asking. Yeah. But that's it. So I did swim with some sea turtles and I thought about you because of your love for turtles.
Lucky man.
Turtles
are a sign of luck.
It's crazy swimming those things because they're not scared of you. So they don't care at all about people. So there were like a dozen of us when we went snorkeling with them out, we're out in the ocean and, you're looking down, you see him, you're like, oh, cool. And like, oh, he's coming up for air. And he would come up like literally, right? Like we had to get out of the way because they're protected. You can't be within 5 feet. And so when these massive sea turtles started to come up, we had to actually swim out of the way.
Do you know what breed of sea turtle that you were seeing?
No, I don't. I think it might have been, they might have told us, but I don't remember.
I've always wanted to see one of those like giant leatherback soft shell ones because they're like 2,000 pounds and the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
Right. No, these live to be like 70, 80 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
And so these were probably, they were saying around 50 or 60 years old because they were big. They're big turtles that you had to get out of the way. It was crazy. Even when we were snorkeling, just like to find them, we're swimming through schools of fish, man. Even the fish were like, whatever, dude. This is my thing.
Their heads are like the size of basketballs too.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you take a look, go Google. Maybe you drop a picture in here. Take a look at a loggerhead sea turtle's beak. That thing decides it's gonna bite your arm, will crush it.
Yeah.
Like, no
but these
thanks.
ones were like super chill. I don't think it was that. Like they were just, and then when they came in for air, you would meet them at the water and just like see their head pop up and take a breath and then go back down.
Do you know what's crazy about here's what I'm gonna say about sea turtles. One, I'm not saying tiger sharks eat them. They kill sharks, and they know they like bite them in their gills.
Wow.
I guess natural selection. All these years have taught them that skill set. And then like I don't know about all breeds of sea turtle, but I know plenty of them eat like highly toxic jellyfish.
Well, they're basically dinosaurs.
They literally, it's funny you say it. My son's on a big dinosaur kick right now. We've had lengthy discussions about alligators, whales, and turtles being dinosaurs. And so now he thinks the 4 turtles we have as pets are going to live for 200 years old. I said, rest assured, they will die and it'll be uncomfortable. What to do? Let me ask you this. You have a pet turtle. What do you do with it if it dies?
Bury it, I guess.
You don't like that.
You don't flush it.
I had one that died. He was 20-some years old a while ago.
How big?
His shell was probably roughly 6-7 inches.
Okay, so he's a little guy.
Yeah, he didn't grow that much.
Yeah.
I say roughly, maybe he was 8. I don't know. So he dies, confirmed dead, and I'll never we've had this turtle in our life for and I hadn't moved out yet. This is right before I moved out.
Okay.
And not just me, but my parents took care of it while I was at college, and when I was a little kid, I didn't know any better. My parents, what to do. My parents would take care of it. So he'd been in our lives for 20-some years.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, they sort of like their legs and head just sort of hang out of their shells limp when they're dead. And we have it on the kitchen counter on a folded newspaper. And we're like, what do we do with it? Because we're not going to bury it. Next thing you know, one of my raccoon friends digs it up and has a feed. Maybe there's something to that. And I go, I don't. I'm not going to bring it to the vet and be like, here to cremate it, But come to think of it, those exotic pet doctors probably would.
I'm sure.
And we're like, you obviously can't flush it like a goldfish. And I think we just package it up and throw it in the garbage. And so it was the weird, we tried to make it
ceremonial, the tossing of the turtle.
But as much as we could, packaged it up respectfully and nicely. But obviously it's not garbage day. It's just going to be rotting in your garbage can. So we sealed it in a sealed bag and just wrapped it respectfully and placed it in there. And then we're like, do we have any garbage we can throw on top of it so we don't have to depressingly see it?
Look at the turtle all the time. Oh, man.
So that's how we got rid of it. And it was traumatic. I was like,
I'm sure
that's my guy since I was 7, 8 years old.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Sorry.
Pets. You want to talk about
inevitable sadness?
Do you want to talk about my dog dying when I was in the ICU too? While we're at it, jeez. So what would another live show? That's two live shows in a row now. Both of which were marred by technical difficulties, albeit this one much less so.
Oh, yeah, this one was so minor.
But there's going to be some sort of transition and cut. We're lopping off a whole section because we had video issues.
Yeah.
So we're just going to wrap the show up.
Yeah.
It seems fitting. Chris, this is the YouTube channel. Do we need to talk about in the redo here, the golf outing?
Yeah, well, real quick. We're doing a golf outing at Dubs Dread at Cog Hill, October 3rd. You can play there with us or your buddies, whoever. We have whatever it is. We have a bunch of spots open, but you can play there for free if you download the PointsBet app, the gambling app. You register using the code DUBS.
DUBS.
Right. Deposit $50 and make any size bet. And PointsBet's going to match your $50 or however much you put in there. I think up to $1,500.
Jeez.
So $50. register Dubs, make a bet before September 17th ish, and then you're in. That's it. You play Dubs, and Dubs is whatever, a $200 golf course. So you put in the minimum $50.
Tiger Woods is one on the course.
It's true.
I think Justin Rose, but used to hold a BMW championship, Western Open before that.
Yeah. And as I say, we could all go out and shoot 120 together because that's a very difficult golf course to play.
Hard.
That's right.
But yeah, thanks to PointsBet. Should be a fun outing. Hope some people sign up and show up and golf with us, and it's a grand old time.
Yeah.
If you're golfing with us, it always is. And really looking forward to that.
You can see me and my whole psychotic camera.
Oh God, yeah. Lucky all of you. All
right, that's it.
This is Chris's YouTube channel. Do us a favor, subscribe to it.
Right.
Hit the bell so we can get some videos up and you'll know.
We're going to have a video of Dubs, so you want to see that.
Right, for sure.
Especially if you're in it.
That'll be a good time. Get that bell, you'll know. Hey, give us a thumbs up. It really helps us. I know people don't really get it or believe it. It does. Give us a thumbs up. It helps us out. Leave a comment below if you want to ask any questions. Talk about this Project X shaft we talked about.
Tell us why bananas are bad luck on boats.
Yeah, we need the answer to that. Go over to driverangeheroes.com. Check out whatever reviews we got going there. I already did that plug once. I lost the magic. You can find that Project X review, as I've said like 6 times now.
Yeah.
All right. And that's Chris McEwen. Follow him on @Chris McEwen on all the social medias. Follow me at Range Heroes, driverangeheroes.com. Episode 84. We're together in person from my garage. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.